Welcome back everyone. In today's video, I am going to show you guys the best Darius guide, which includes build, runes, summoner spells, abilities, and counters. And watch the video till the last to gain knowledge on how to play Darius. So, Darius, the glorious executioner. Darius has been finally released yesterday. And I know you guys really want to play and master these champion, that's why you are here. And I am here to teach you how to master it. Darius is a fighter bruiser champion in League of Legends. Wild Rift, which is generally played in the Baron lane. Darius is a melee champion that has his abilities to deal more with physical damage, hook and slow the enemy. However, there are other things you should know besides how to play. The use of build and rune items is also very important for you to know. By using certain items and runes, you can more easily attack the enemy. Because items and runes can make the champion you use stronger. Therefore, you must pay attention to this. Now, let's look at Darius' abilities info in order. First, let's look at his ability. First of all, we got passive skill that is Hemorrhage. And then the first skill that is Decimate. The second skill which is Crippling Strike. The third skill which is Apprehend, and the fourth are the ultimate skin which is the Noxian Guillotine. You have known his skill in order, and now let's look at his each skill briefly. Passive skill Hemorrhage. Darius's attacks and damaging abilities cause enemies to bleed, dealing 12 physical damage, 12 plus 30% bonus attack damage over 5 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. Upon reaching full stacks, Darius gains Noxian Might for 5 seconds, gaining 20 attack damage and applying full stacks of Hemorrhage instead of 1. Let's go to the first ability, which is Decimate. Darius winds up and swings his axe in a wide circle, dealing 39 physical damage, 14 plus 35% bonus attack damage. Enemies struck by the blade take more damage than those struck by the handle. Hitting enemies with the blade of the axe deals 110 physical damage, 40 plus 100 bonus attack damage. Darius heals based on enemy champions and large monsters hit by the blade. He heals himself for 12% of his missing health for each champion hit, max 36%, and applies Hemorrhage. Its cooldown time 9.5 seconds and costs 35 mana. Let's go to the second ability, which is Crippling Strike. Darius's next attack strikes an enemy's crucial artery, and for 8 seconds to deal an additional 21 physical damage, 30% bonus attack damage. As they bleed out, their movement speed is slowed by 90% for 1 second. Its cooldown time is 6.5 seconds and costs 30 mana. Its third ability is Apprehend. Darius hones his axe, passively causing his physical damage to ignore a percentage of his target's armor and gains 15% armor penetration. When activated, Darius sweeps up his enemies with his axe's hook and pulls them to him, slowing them by 40% for 1 second. It has a cooldown time of 18s and costs 45 mana. And the one and only ultimate or fourth ability are Noxian Guillotine. Darius leaps to an enemy champion and strikes a lethal blow, dealing 100 true damage, 100 plus 75% bonus attack damage. This damage is increased for 20% per each stack of Hemorrhage on the target. If Noxian Guillotine is a killing blow, its cooldown is refreshed for a brief duration. And grants Noxian Might for 5 seconds and causes nearby minions and monsters to flee for 1.5 seconds. Its cooldown time is 80s and costs nearly 100 mana. Now, this is the ability order of Darius. You can screenshot this and check it afterwards. You can use his skill in this order. Or you can use it in your own way. I recommend you to use this. Even I use this. Here, I will provide tips regarding the item build and rune Darius in the Wild Rift, which you can try. So, let's go to runes. For Keystone runes, Conqueror functions the best on Darius. Almost always wanting to fight, Darius excels in crippling the enemy. Conqueror stacks help ensure his trade potential, giving extra healing and AD to further outtrade the enemy. The secondary runes, there are many viable paths. The ones listed above help Darius snowball after getting a kill and give him extra movement and survivability. You can use Brutal, Spirit Walker, and Hunter Genius as their minor runes. Darius' spell name is as follows. You can go with Flash plus Ignite or Ghost Exhaust, according to the situation. Or you can opt for Ghost and Flash. This combo makes him a terrifying monster to run away from, giving him chances to position his first ability properly for devastating trades. What items do I build on Draven in Wild Rift? This is your question, then here is your answer. I will give you 2 builds for Darius. First one is Tanky build. This build relies on Black Cleaver to deal out damage. The rest of the kit gives him survivability in a team fight. Sterax gauge pops when he is low, and Gargoyle enchantment active gives him a massive health barrier. The longer Darius is able to survive in a team fight, the more damage and healing he can receive. The goal of this build is to soak up damage and heal as much as possible at the same time. Once the stacks are set, Darius's ultimate ability slam dunks the enemy team. And another is glass cannon build. This build is for those looking to build straight damage. Trinity Force grants more damage overall, as it gives Darius the opportunity to insert auto attacks to maximize damage output. Ghost Blade helps build up movement speed to chase after kills, synergizing with Darius's second ability very well. Instead of Gargoyle's enchantment, this build utilizes Glorious enchantment to catch enemies. Blade of the Ruined King gives a small amount of sustainability, but also decreases the enemy's chances of running away. Mortal Reminder makes sure that enemies do not win in a sustained war against Darius, while Phantom Dancer gives extra movement speed and a small shield to help Darius in dire circumstances. What Black Cleaver does in Darius? Black Cleaver is an excellent item for Darius. By stealing the enemy's armor, Black Cleaver helps Darius trade during elongated fights. The extra health on Black Cleaver also grants Darius extra survivability. What to choose instead of Black Cleaver? If players do not want to opt for Black Cleaver and prefer more straight damage builds, Trinity Force is the second option to go to. This item functions similarly to Black Cleaver, but gives more base damage stats. The key difference is that Trinity Force forces Darius to auto-attack more in between skills, as the active ability and attack speed make it easier. What Gargoyle Enchant does in Darius? Gargoyle Enchant was recently buffed. The item actually increases maximum health by 65% now, rather than 40% as shown in the picture. If there are 3 or more champions nearby, it increases maximum health by 130%. These are massive changes, and this item will, without a doubt, help Darius survive burst damage in the middle of a big team fight. As an active ability built from boots, the boots items Darius wants to build are almost always tanky. This can be either Ninja Tabi or Mercury Treads. When going for the glass cannon build, gluttonous boots may work or you guys can use this builds. Here are some of the builds that you guys may want to use. So, these were all the runes and builds. Let's look at situations of the build. These are other 3 builds you can use. The best items to build on Darius in Wild Rift are all-in items, anything that can enable your team fight power. The first item to build should be Trinity Force, and then second, you will want to complete your Gluttonous Greaves with a Glorious Enchant, and to finish up your core item build will be a Death's Dance. Best item build vs ADAP Assassin Champions. The first item to build should be Trinity Force, and then Gluttonous Greaves, Dead Man's Plate, Death's Dance, Sterax Gauge, Guardian Angel and Glorious Enchant. Best item build vs AP Champions. The first item to build should be Trinity Force, and then Gluttonous Greaves, Death's Dance, Maw of Malmortius, Spirit Visage, Guardian Angel and Glorious Enchant. Best item build vs Tank Champions. The first item to build should be Black Cleaver, then Gluttonous Greaves, Death's Dance, Sterax Gauge, Mortal Reminder, Guardian Angel and Glorious Enchant. And here are some other builds. So, these were all the runes and builds. Strengths and weakness of Draven. Strengths. Darius is strong in 1v1 duels thanks to his passive Hemorrhage. He is a tank champion, but can dish out decent damage in team fights thanks to his ultimate ability Noxian Guillotine. Weakness. Darius kind of scales off, loses his impact, into the later stages of the game as it's very easy to kite a Darius. Marksmen like Vayne, Quinn, and Ezreal do well into Darius in the late game. Some of the questions that you guys have, and you guys really want to know the answers. What role do I play Darius? The most popular role to play Darius is in the Baron lane or jungle. This is mostly due to the champion being a fighter with physical damage. How good is Darius in Wild Rift? Darius is ranked S tier, which we consider the most reliable picks for ranked Q in the Baron lane. What champions is Wild Rift Darius weak against? Darius is weak against champions that have high mobility or some CC, stun or silence in their kits like Garen, Camille, and Fiora. Darius also struggles against marksmen like Vayne and Ezreal in the later stages of the game. What champions are good with Darius in Wild Rift? The best champions to use with Draven based on synergy are Darius, Blitzcrank, and even Nami are good combos. What champions are strong against Darius in Wild Rift? Darius counters champions that have low defense and low mobility in the early game like Nasus, Olaf, and Shyvana. How good is Darius in Wild Rift? When Darius was first made available in the closed beta, he was ripping through his opponents in both early and late game. That's the reason why Darius was not available in Wild Rift's open beta so far. However, after several adjustments to his kit, Darius is finally here. Undoubtedly, Darius is going to be a S-tier champion in Baron lane, thanks to his kit that makes him a strong duelist in every stage of the game. Can Darius be played in any other lanes? No, Darius is best played in the Baron lane. However, you can play jungle role with Darius, but the early game will be a struggle because of slow jungle clear of Darius. Can I build full attack damage on Darius? You can, even though it's not recommended at all. However, building full attack damage on Darius is like inviting enemy marksmen to eat you up in the late game. What are the core items on Darius? Black Cleaver, Teleport Enchant, Starax Gauge, and Guardian Angel. These are some combos that you want to use. This is still a work in progress, but I want to put out the core information that I believe that is crucial for you to know and understand. I will be updating this guide with more information on items, champion matchups, combos, laning, team fighting, and more soon. Come back and check if I have more information soon. I hope that this guide will help you understand Darius. Please comment and leave any feedback if you can. That were all the things that I can teach. If you want to see more about this, then comment down below and subscribe to my channel for more of the same content. And I will bring more this type of content. And hope you guys like this and learn something from this. If you have any issues regarding this, then do contact me on Instagram. Or you can contact me on Twitter. Or you may join our Discord and get help from our lovely members. So, this much for today's video. And hope you guys enjoyed it. See you in the next video. Bye bye, have a nice